this far this fast. I just want to tell you a little bit about me and tell you where the campaign is. We're making huge progress. A week and a half ago, I got endorsed by Newt Gingrich. He's got a 2.5-minute video on my website that he describes me as the perfect candidate to debate Dick Durbin. That's because I got a health insurance background, amongst other things. Also got endorsed by Congressman Aaron Schock. We're going to announce this on Monday morning, so you got a little sneak peek here, but Congressman John Shimkus is also endorsing me as well. And then I got the Chicago Tribune endorsement recently. So we're moving along, things are going great. Facebook, all social media is really moving. So we're making things happen. Money's coming in even faster than it ever has, so that's always a good thing as well. We're getting to that place where people are seeing that, you know, this is not so much about me and my opponent, State Senator Jim Oberweis, as it is who's the best candidate to take on Durbin if Durbin is going to be beatable. So my background, I'm 43 years old. I've been married to Nicole for 21 years. We have 3 teenagers and we live in Downers Grove. I work in Oak Brook. Going back a few years, I went to West Point. I was 6 years active duty Army, Ranger School, Airborne School, platoon leader, aide to a general, battalion staff officer, got out as a captain. I went to work in corporate America where I learned employee benefit consulting in one of the largest brokerage firms in the country. And 6 years ago, which was the January of '08, I started my own company with a partner. So January of '08 is not a great time to start a company. But it all worked out. You know, we made it. We survived by the grace of God. We've got started with nothing. We have 12 employees, do about $2 million a year in revenue. And so it's good small business, moving things along. So I certainly understand the business ownership side of this and the economy and everything going forward. So the things I talk about most, and I think that we all feel as we're going forward here, is that we do have a potential here in this country and the state and the world in general to have a much brighter, better future. When it comes to healthcare, with the healthcare system, does anybody think we can have a more efficient, less expensive system than the one we have now? You know, the place where we are right now, it's just the whole idea of healthcare reform, Obamacare, it's just raising premiums, raising deductibles. We're getting to a worse place over time. Nobody wants to get to that spot. So how could you do it differently? Well, here's some ideas that have been around for a while that we could really work on going forward. We could open up competition across state lines. You know, on the small group, the individual side, I'm going to do this for a living. A lot of my clients are bigger companies, but I understand the small group market. If you could go to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kentucky and they could sell you a policy that you like as an individual or as an employer for your employees, and you buy it from them, that's how that exchange would happen. And that's how the cost of everything has come down in our country over the years and competition has gone up. We don't do that right now because the government tells you you can't. Right? We need to open that up to competition. It would bring the cost down. It wouldn't happen quite overnight, but it would happen. We could go in the other direction. We also got to look at lawsuit abuse. You know, doctors got left out of this equation, this tort reform conversation. Right? We got to get back to that spot. And then you can also get fair taxation across employees, buying insurance versus individuals buying it on their own. That's another place to go. So you get the cost down. Now we're talking everybody's language. I know we're all Republicans, but once you start talking about less premium, less deductible, keeping more money in people's pockets, I don't care who you are, Republican, Democrat, Independent, that's what you're looking to hear. Now on the economy, so a couple things we could do differently going forward. Let's have the conversation about getting tax rates down. Because right now as a business owner, if you're thinking, you know, I'm going to hire somebody, my taxes are going to go up, and I have to let them go, why would you do that? We've got to send the message that tax rates are going the other direction. So lower them across the board, get more simplicity in the system by actually reducing some deductions. I mean, you keep the mortgage and the charitable and things like that, but put everything else on the table, reduce the complexity, get more money back in people's pockets. So there's another theme that we've got going here, right? With health insurance and now with taxation, and give businesses the incentive and the optimism to go forward. Something else on the business front that's really ruining the economy, in my estimation, is that, you know, we've got federal regulation strangulation going on. Okay, we've got 80,000 pages of the Federal Register. So the first thing I would propose as your next senator from Illinois is let's make every federal agency re-justify every federal regulation every 5 years. Okay? If they can't do it, it doesn't stay. What happens now is you're a business owner, you know there's more and more regulation coming, you're not going to go in certain areas. You don't want to show up one day and there's 3 regulators at your door and they're saying, hey, you've been breaking 10 laws you didn't even know about. Okay, that's the kind of world we're living in. 74% of Americans believe the federal government is way too big. So we've got to send the messages going the other direction. Get businesses growing and hiring again. And when they're growing and hiring, they do something else. They give raises. Okay? When was the last time people got raises? We got to get back to that spot, get more money in people's pocket, get the economy going again. And third and finally on issues, foreign policy. You know, I've raised my hand to defend the Constitution with my life, so I don't want boots on the ground, I don't want armed combat, but I'm just telling you, leadership from behind leads to more conflict. Okay, every history book I've ever read, if the world power on the world stage, the lone superpower is weak, we're tending more towards conflict and more instability, and if they're strong, we have less conflict and more stability. All right, we've got to get back to that place. Forceful diplomacy, again, I'm not looking for boots on the ground or armed combat, but we have got to recognize that this is what leadership from behind looks like, and we're getting at a bad spot. Thank you. And we were talking about it over my table. I mean, we all are war-weary on some level, but if we're going to just advocate responsibility, we're going to have more trouble. And the Israelis are going to have to go to war with the Iranians. And that's what they're looking at. I mean, we just have not, we've got to avoid these situations as much as we can, and a strong presence on the world stage will get us there. So that's kind of my vision. I think we can have a much better future in this country, in this state, in this world. But we got to win some elections. Okay, so I need your support. If you're here today and you think, hey, I'd vote for that guy, he's a good guy, that's fantastic. I need 100 of your friends. I'm not kidding. I need 100 of your friends. So get out the Christmas card list and get the distro going again. I just think in order for us to beat Durbin, we've got to have a candidate that's going to be attractive not only to the younger generations and the base, but fiscally conservative Democrats and independents as well. Somebody with the passion, the energy to go the distance against Durbin, and that stark contrast. And somebody that can nationalize the race. Already been on Cavuto, we got to do other things on Hannity and stuff like that. You got to get more money coming in from outside because nobody, not even Jim Oberweis, can be able to write checks to keep up with Durbin's money. But you've got to have somebody that can pull the money from around the country. And we got to think about this. So Durbin's not invincible. He's not unbeatable. People thought Russ Feingold was in 2010, right before Ron Johnson beat him. Okay, so we can do it. We just have to do it together. So I need your support. Love to have it. Don't ever forget it. We can do this. We just have to do it together. Thanks for coming out today. Great to meet everybody. God bless you. God bless this great country.